Good news, Panther Nation. Honestly, it's relatively good news, but welcome to another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications, your Panther obligations. I'm your host with the most, Carolina McRae, a.k.a. Myron McRae, across the skies of the internet. And man, oh man, oh man, I did my intro backwards, but you know what? I don't care. It is what it is. I'm a little bit see-through too, but you know what? We're going to do what we do. We always get through it, baby. Hope y'all are having a fantastic Thursday. Hope everything's going smooth for you, man, and it's just going to be a good day, man. Like I'm saying, it's going to be a good day. I hope everything's going better for you. If it's not, hey, just get through the day. It's okay. Because not every day is going to be great. Not every day is going to be awesome. Not every day is going to be fantastic. So if you're having a rough time, if you're going through a rough spell right now, it's okay. You're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. I promise you that. But guys, we're going to get into today's video. Also, before we get into it, got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Kalshi. Thank you for being the sponsor of this video. Guys, please make sure to go download Kalshi. Use this code down here. You can get $10 off when you trade in, and we'll talk more about that later. But let's go ahead, get into the docket, talking about some things from yesterday's joint practice and just some information moving across the interwebs, so to speak. One being, we had another injury scare, as Phillips and Leggett were pulled yesterday as a precaution, along with some others. Then apparently we got to avoid somebody with like the Black Plague. And lastly, an unexpected surprise for the 53-man roster. But let's get into the types. And as we see on the first headline, is that Jalen Phillips and Xavier Leggett were pulled from practice yesterday as a precaution.
Nani?
Yeah. This is according to Mike K over at ESPN and Twitter. Mike K went on to say, Carolina Panthers head coach Dave Canales said outside linebacker Jalen Phillips injured his wrist in Jacksonville, but said he was fine after joint practice. However, Canales said he was pulled early as a precaution. The same goes for wide receiver Xavier Leggett, who got rolled up on but was cleared by the staff. Nose tackle Cam Jackson missed practice against the Jaguars in concussion protocol. Y'all see the headline on this slide, right? Y'all see the title. Where's the bubble wrap? Where's the bubble wrap? Where is the protective measures? I feel as though every other day I'm seeing a nick, a injury, a slight soreness for every player. And it's not even for role players. It's always been key players on the team or who are going to have a key role this upcoming season. Cam Jackson, rotational player. Jalen Phillips, starter. Xavier Leggett, starter. Robert Hunt, potential starter. Damian Lewis, starter. Chuba Hubbard, starter. Jonathan Brooks, rotation to starter. Tanner Roman Miller went out for a little bit. Starter. His was like last week, but I'm still saying. And then defensively, Trayvon Merrick, starter. Derek Brown, starter. Mike Jack. Has Mike Jack missed a day? I don't think Mike Jack did. I know Merrick did for a little bit. I think for just like a day or two. But I'm just saying, bro. I'm getting scared. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting scared. Because this is getting out of hand. And I'm afraid. And I don't like it. Me no like it. No me gusta. I'm not enjoying this. No me encanta. I just really am scared because it's only a matter of time before something could happen. Yes, I'm knocking on wood. Please, Lord, to the football gods above. Just please. But another reason why I'm scared is I'm seeing more and more injuries across the league. Because I think the Texans just lost another guy, torn ACL. I know Detroit just lost one of their linemen to a torn ACL. And I'm just seeing more and more major injuries happening across the board. I'm like, why? Can we just have one season where 99% of the league is healthy and we just go at it? Can we have a season where the Carolina Panthers just are completely healthy going into it. Like, I would like that. I would like that. I'm just saying. Is that too much to ask? That's too much to ask, ain't it? Y'all cruel. But okay. But okay. But the positive news and the silver lining is they were cleared by staff. They are okay. There's no lingering effects. So if they're cleared by staff, I'm expecting them to be ready to rock and roll this weekend. So there's that. Speaking of which, when's the game this weekend? Is it Friday or Saturday? I'm drawing a blank right now. We play on the 20th. Oh, we play tomorrow. Ah, okay. All right, so we're having a watch party tomorrow. Bet. Bet. Now I know. Now I know. I was thinking it was Saturday for some reason. But it's okay. Next, going into it, man. And apparently, fantasy experts are telling us to avoid these players, man. And
NANI?
the players in question are Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks. Yeah. According to them, according to Alex K from Bleacher Report, and I guess in their fantasy division, he listed 4 running back duos that should be avoided for fantasy football. And he said Hubbard and Brooks should be avoided. And here's what he had to state about that. Says the Carolina Panthers ground game was average at best last year, but they at least had a clear-cut fantasy standout with Rico Dowdle leading the way. With Dowdle departing in free agency, this unit has little clarity and could be one of the toughest to figure out in 2026. The main candidates to carry the route this season are Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks. Each has a fair share of red flags that should give any manager pause before selecting them near their current ADPs. While Hubbard is only a year removed from finishing as fantasy's RB14, he plummeted to RB32 over the first 8 weeks of 2025 before being replaced by Dowdle in the starting lineup and seeing his workload significantly decrease. He tallied a meager 52.4 fantasy points the rest of the way and comes into 2026 with real concern about his ability to return to form. Brooks is an even riskier option, as injuries have been the unfortunate story of his NFL career. A series of ACL injuries have limited him to just 3 games in total, and his production in those contests was almost non-existent. Despite missing all of 2025 while recovering from yet another surgery, Brooks is set to see plenty of action in 2026 if he can stay healthy. It remains to be seen which back will open Week 1 as Carolina's starter. Hubbard seems to have the inside track due to his experience, but is now dealing with a tricky hamstring injury. That ailment, coupled with Brooks' clean bill of health and a vote of confidence from head coach Dave Canales, gave the backup some momentum heading into the preseason opener. Expectations should be tempered following Brooks' ugly 3-carry, 5-yard rush performance against the Buffalo Bills on Saturday. While he did catch his lone target for 9 yards, Brooks has yet to show he's capable of living up to the hype surrounding him when he became the first running back off the board in the 2024 draft. Given Hubbard's regression last year and the recent hamstring injury, along with Brooks' long-standing injury concerns, it's best to avoid this backfield altogether in your fantasy draft. Woo. Oof. That's tough. That's a tough read. Now, I do have a rule of thumb where I genuinely tend to avoid taking Carolina Panthers in the draft, and this is more unless they're like clear cut. I know they're still going to put up points regardless. For example, I took Tedderone McMillan last year on a couple teams because I knew he was going to be the number 1 target, and it worked out. And I think 2023 I did have Chuba Hubbard, but I tend to avoid taking Carolina Panthers players overall just so I don't have a conflict and I'm not doubly mad, honestly, because I don't want to have a player, let's say Jonathan Brooks, and be rooting for Carolina, and Jonathan Brooks doesn't produce and Carolina loses. Now I'm 2 times as mad. You get what I'm saying? But to say to avoid them, I get the reason. Avoid altogether, I'm not going to say that. But I get the reason if you're basing it off the injury history and you're basing it off just most recent performance. Because Brooks has injury history, and we saw Chuba's workload definitely decreased last year. So what's expected of him this year, especially now that he has the hamstring injury? That is very plausible. So it's not out of the realm a possibility to be in this situation. Would I do it? Altogether, I wouldn't say avoid altogether, but if you're in a really deep draft, like 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 players deep, you're going to have to look here. It's not the worst running back room you could run into, honestly speaking. But I understand the concern that they have there. But another thing I do understand, man, and I do want to talk to y'all about is the fact that before the season even kicks off, everybody's making predictions, especially on stuff like, hey, yo, who's the best running back duo in the league? Who's going to win the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the Lombardi at the end of the year? And on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you could trade those predictions into a live market. And here's how it goes. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, right? Meaning there's no house. And as the probabilities change, you can buy in and out of your position. You can trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. So be sure, download the Kalshi app and use the code FANARCHFOOTBALL, this one right here, and you can get $10 when you trade in $10. That's KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on anything. And please, as a reminder, remember, it's for 18 and up. Restrictions and eligibility requirements do apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ as those mentioned. And for more info, please check Kalshi.com and their regulatory. But guys, go check out the Kalshi app. You can trade in this live market. Put in the $10 with the FanArch code. Get $10 off, man. Make yourself a little bit of money while you at it. And Kalshi, thank you for sponsoring this video. Appreciate you for all that you do. Again, go to the app. Get there today, guys. Now let's get back to the show. And the third thing I do want to talk about now is one surprise player who could make the 53-man roster. And this is according to Bryce Lazenby over at Yahoo Sports. He says that the one player who could really shock and make the 53-man roster nobody's looking at is Felipe Franks. Yeah. Yes, Felipe Franks as a guy still tabbed to make the 53-man roster, and here's why. He says, since entering the league as an undrafted free agent in 2021, Franks has found ways to stand out. As mentioned above, Franks was originally a highly talented quarterback prospect. However, Franks never panned out as a passer and decided to switch to tight end in hopes of having a longer NFL career. That seemingly has been the correct choice, as Franks is preparing for his 5th NFL season. The tight end has been seen as a bubble player with just a small chance to make this roster. The Panthers have Tommy Tremble, Mitchell Evans, and Jatavion Sanders at the top end of their depth chart, and veteran Darren Waller just added as well. It's like it would be easy to forget Franks, but he's making that hard to do. The Panthers are practicing with the Jaguars this week, and Franks made his presence known on Wednesday. I'll say this, Franks has caught the ball consistently well all summer, Panthers reporter Mike Kay said. He's made several plays in camp. He'll be a guy to watch the rest of the preseason, as he might be more than the special teams ace. Mike Kay is around the team as much as anybody, so if he thinks Franks has a real shot to make the team, you should listen. Oh, man. This tight end room, honestly, is going to get really wild. I think Frank stays mainly as a special teams ace, but he's also going to be kept in the event something happens to the tight ends, like injury-wise. His main reason is, all right, bro, you're great on special teams. We need to make sure special teams is great. But let's say Tremble goes down and Mitchell Evans goes down. Jatavion Sanders ain't here no more. He's gone down. Now you're down to Darren Waller, and you can go back to Felipe Franks. You see what I'm saying? He's kept on here for special teams, but also as an emergency tight end depth rotational player. So I could see him making a 53-man roster. He's definitely going to be on the practice squad if nothing else. But because of his impact on special teams, I think he makes the 53-man. And Jatavion maybe. I know James Mitchell is probably going to go to practice squad. He's not going to make the 53 man. But now with Darren Waller, you do add a lot more wrinkles into the game. So it'll be interesting to watch. And speaking of Felipe Franks, Panther freeze frame of the day is this after this catch he made in yesterday's practice. Man came up, helmet fell off and everything. He came up, posed, and all. It was a nice catch. If you haven't seen it, it is on social media everywhere. It was a really nice catch. And I want to say the pass was made by Trask. Because it wasn't Haynes King or Pickett. It was a number, I think, 14 or 4. I saw from the quarterback who threw it. So I think that was Kyle Trask. It's obviously not Bryce. But yeah, Franks popped up, kind of posed like, are you not entertained by my skill set? And so that's kind of cool. I like that for him. But now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for y'all favorite segment, time for Panther Nation. To speak your truth. And that's why I read your comments and see what you lovely people got to say, man. And first comment comes from the Grunting Bear, who says, Luke as a coordinator sounds like a dream. I agree. Luke as a coordinator would be a dream. That would be awesome. I think we'd all love it. I just don't foresee it happening for him. That's just me. But it could happen. It very well could happen. And somebody did point out Luke does live in Charlotte, so hey, it's very possible. Next comes from Joe Clarity. He's at the 224 mark, 241 mark. He says, we already know what we have, though. We saw it in Atlanta, against LA, and a few other games when they let Bryce chuck it. What we need is consistency with the play calling and to stop getting gun shy every time a play gets busted and go ultra conservative. Yeah. I mean, there is some truth to that. We do need consistency. Play calling all over the board. Consistency on play calling, consistency on execution everywhere. Been saying that. Third comes from Ashes_4K says, loser of the returning league should have to email every single Panthers employee they can, requesting they get themselves banned for life from the bank until it eventually happens. No, I'm not doing that to any Carolina Panthers fans. No, we are not doing anything that major to where you get banned for life, bro. We're not doing that because that banned for life. So that if that person has kids, they can't go to the stadium with it. Nah. If we have a Super Bowl or if we have another NFC title game, we're not doing that. I'm not going to ruin no fan's life like that. I love you, bro, but I'm not doing that. That is not going to be what we do this year. That's crazy. And lastly, comes from Adam Bailey 5299 says, hey, man, I would like to play fantasy football with you guys on the Blue League. I have the app. Can you please send me an invite? I couldn't find your custom league. Please save me a spot. Adam, I got you. I replied to your comment on the video saying, do you have like social media or anything? But I got you, Adam. Here's what you do. So if you got social media, go ahead right here. Tornado McRae. That's my IG. That's my TikTok. That's my Twitter. And you can find me on any of those if you got social media, and you can send me a direct message. Send me a direct message saying you want to join the Blue League. All the returners, I just activated the league yesterday. The draft is this Saturday. It's at 7 o'clock. It's there. And I set it up based off finishing position in the standings. So I looked at the way the playoffs finished out, who won their matchups, and who was ranked where. So it is based off last to first like a regular NFL draft. The champion, he's got the last pick of the draft. The guy who finished last has got the last pick, who's got the first pick. I was second to last, so I got the second overall pick. I just sucked last year. So, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, if you're new and you want to join this year and you're trying to join the Blue League, send me a message at Tornado McRae. Or if you only have Facebook, Myron McRae, MYRON space MCRAE. You'll see a photo, me in a pink Miami Heat jersey. That is me. Send me a message. Tell me you're trying to join the app. Tell me you're trying to join for the Blue League. I'll mark you down and we'll get started, okay? I still got to figure out how I'm not going to participate in that league. I don't know if I got to give control or just make selections off somebody. I got to figure that out. But send me the message I'll get you there, and I'll make sure you're tabbed down for the league. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know, man. One, how you feeling about these injuries that keep popping up? Are you getting scared? Are you getting worried? Two, would you avoid Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard in the draft? And three, do you think Felipe Franks makes the final cut for the 53-man roster? Let me know all that and everything else in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, y'all know the deal. What do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all y'all. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see y'all next time.